Hello from Chem Help ASAP. We're going to talk about acids and acid derivatives. So all of these functional groups will have one thing in common. They will all have 3 bonds from a carbon to a more electronegative atom. And the parent of this group of compounds is a carboxylic acid. And that's what's shown here on the screen. Note that this carbon has 3 bonds to a more electronegative atom, 2 bonds to one oxygen, and then 1 bond to another. Carboxylic acids also have this CO double bond in them, and that's an example of a carbonyl. So carboxylic acids are carbonyl, is a carbonyl containing functional group. One thing to know about the carboxylic acid, it contains an OH group. So it's tempting to think this is an alcohol. This is not an alcohol. So an alcohol we wrote as ROH. If the R group contains that carbonyl, it is not, that OH is not an alcohol. It's an OH group of a carboxylic acid, not the OH group of an alcohol. It's a little bit complicated, but as we work through these compounds, you'll get a feel for that. Sometimes carboxylic acids are written a little bit differently in a more condensed format, and people will write CO2H. So this is kind of a condensed structural formula version of this kind of combination Lewis dot line angle structure that we've drawn over on the left. There are many other compounds that are like carboxylic acids that have 3 bonds from carbon to an electronegative atom, and these are called the acid derivatives. So what are they? If we replace the OH with an OR, this is called an ester. If we replace the OH with a nitrogen, and it may have 1 or more R groups, that's called an amide. Now this, much like the carboxylic acid, you say, oh, an OH, that must be an alcohol. It's easy to look at this nitrogen and say, I guess that's an amine. It's not an amine because if you have the carbonyl next door, this is now called an amide. So you have to look around your key atom to decide what is the functional group that best describes the molecule that you're examining. Later in the course, we'll see a number of these kinds of compounds. This is called an acid chloride. And then the last example I'll show, there are many others, but the last one is a nitrile. Now a nitrile also has a carbon with 3 bonds to a more electronegative atom. It happens to be a nitrogen instead. So it's easy to ignore the nitrile among the acid derivatives, but it fits the bill in terms that it has 3 bonds from carbon to a more electronegative atom. So these are the acids and acid derivatives, really common functional groups that we'll encounter a lot in this course.